Is it recording? Okay. I think that's recording. Oh, it looks so zoomed in. What's happening? This is weird. This is weird to me. Also, the fact that it's focusing using. Anyway, I got a new phone, you guys. I don't know quite how to use it. The camera looks really zoomed in. I don't know what to do. Maybe I put the phone down. Maybe I turn on some lights. Maybe I actually turn on some lights so that it doesn't look like a shit. Is that any better? There you go. That's a bit better, I guess. I'm gonna put the phone down. I'm gonna quit rambling. Right? I'm gonna put the phone down. How about that? I'm gonna stand. Actually, I'm gonna sit like right here, and I'm gonna talk. Hi, guys. Got a new phone. I wanted to check. I'm making a video because for a few reasons. One of them is I want to test the camera out and see what it looks like. I'm weirded out by the fact about how zoomed in it is. It reminds me of that time that my Galaxy S4 got stolen, and I had to use my iPad to record videos for a little while. And by default, I guess, the camera on my iPad was set to zoom in. So, like, I couldn't see the entire area that it was, like, filming. I saw, like, a zoomed in version that fit the screen. And only, like, after, like, 2 or 3 videos did I realize that I could just, like, double tap the screen and I could, the black bar show up, sure, but then I see the whole 16:9 screen that it's actually recording. Because, like, I would upload it and it would be fine, but when I'm filming it, I was just guessing. So that's how I figured out that I could just, like, tap this here and it would, like, focus, I guess. Because I thought maybe it would do the same thing, but it doesn't look like it's doing it. Maybe I gotta fight it. I'll figure something out. This is like my first time recording it. But, funny story about that, actually. I was in my guitar class, and I just put my phone down, and I went to go put my guitar away. I came back, phone's gone. Don't trust freshmen at all, because it was a beginner's classroom. It was a beginner's guitar class, so I was like one of like 3 or 4 seniors that were in my class. There was like 2 juniors. The rest of them were all freshmen, I guess. I guess a sophomore class that didn't bother, but it was a majority class of freshmen, and I remember this one kid who was mugging me the whole time. I got the class let out late because they had to lock down the classroom, search everyone's backpacks, and they couldn't find it because the kid probably stored it in his fucking like shoe or like his dick or somewhere. Like he probably just stuffed it in his pants or whatever, but I never saw that phone ever again, and all the memories it had on it. Not like that matters somewhere down the line, but for a little while I just didn't have a phone, and I was like really pissed off about it, and I had a Galaxy S5 for the rest of the time. And the S5 was kind of fun. It was just not the S4. Like the S4 had this I didn't plan on upgrading, honestly. Like it was working well enough for me. Like if that phone never got stolen, I would probably still own it to this day, just because it was such a good phone. It was like the turnaround of like Galaxy phones, I would say. Like starting with like the S5, they started doing some weird shit to their phones that they're just now getting back to in the Galaxy S8. And even then, the Galaxy S8 is weird. It's got a curved screen. It's a pain in the ass to get a proper case for it. Sprint guy was like, "Don't buy a glass case for it." Internet is like, "Don't buy a glass case for it." I had to Amazon ship a liquid case for it. I ended up buying this one. I ended up getting this one, and it comes with 2 because they know you're gonna fuck up the first time, which I did, but I think I did well enough. I mean, the screen is clear. I actually like these liquid cases because it comes with it's like a process, man. It said it takes about 8 hours for the thing to dry off, so you do this before you go to bed. And I'm like, all right, fine, but there's no bubbles on it, so that's fine. Unlike when screen protectors were kind of a relatively new concept, I guess, or it wasn't, the technology on it wasn't like developed more. So you would just have the case, and it would just, if you stuck it on wrong, you're fucked. This is a liquid case. It comes with like a little like squeegee bottle thing, and then you wipe it off, and um, gets out the bubbles. But it gives you time to like align the case properly. So I did my best, but I squeegeed too hard, and I scratched it while I was putting it on. But I don't mind it. I don't really give a shit how fucked up the screen protector gets, as long as the screen underneath it is fine. Because I can buy another $8 screen protector. I for sure am not gonna buy another $800 phone. So, yeah, I'm testing out the phone camera and seeing what that's like. But God, I got so into that discussion about all the phones I had. I've never kept any of the Android phones I've ever had, honestly. When I traded in, my very first Android phone was the LG Optimus, and I traded that in for a Galaxy S4 after like 2 or 3 or 4 years. Maybe I'm exaggerating. When did I get? I think I think I had the LG Optimus for 3 years before I traded in for an S4, and I remember the S4, and it's great. I had it for like about a year and a half, and I had it stolen at the end of the year, and I had the Galaxy S5 for a full 2 years and change, and then I got this one, and this is the first phone that I bought with my own money, paying for it. Sure as hell wasn't gonna shell out $800 for this right away. I traded in the Optimus so I could get the S4, and then I lost the S4, and then I traded in the S5 so I could get half off on this one. So I don't have any of my old Android phones, but I do have my old SD cards. I have my old SD card from my Optimus, and I have my old SD card from my Galaxy S5, and those are all full. And the S8 is the first time that I've had the internal memory actually have more space than the SD card I bought, just because I didn't want to buy the 64 gig external, and I'm planning on cooling it with the pictures anyway, so whatever. Um, it's been all right, I guess. Then again, can't really say that ever since I've revealed the reasons why I make these videos, and I do that every single time every time I'm on camera, I always talk about why I make these videos, and that I don't waver on that idea. I find these calming because I'm in a place, and having one of those days, and I try to make these videos far and few in between, but sometimes it just gets to you, and I'm hitting one of those moments again, and sometimes I think to myself, I'm putting myself in these situations. I'm putting myself in these. Oh gosh, I wish. Okay, let me tell you something. The little record button is at the bottom in the middle, and it used to be in the top left corner, so I could just, like stay in one spot, and I would know. But I'm wearing a white shirt, and the little indicator telling me how long the video is running is in the middle. It's been running for 8 minutes, so I gotta be like right here just so I could see it. Screw it. What was I saying? Oh, I'm putting myself in these situations where, I feel that maybe if I thought about the situation a lot more than I do, which is not at all, that maybe I wouldn't put myself in these situations. But I think to myself that I'm gonna do something differently this time, and I'm okay. It's hard to talk about this without actually speaking about it. I'm talking about like rushing into like relationships and stuff like that, and I feel like that's a lot of people where they think that that you're gonna have the self-control to be like, yeah, next time I'm just gonna focus on myself, and then sometimes some of us are so desperate for that attention or that closeness that you have with another person, that the second that you get that back, you embrace it wholly, and then the second that you lose it, you come back, and you're back into this like kind of pit of despair that you were in before. You had that previous closest, and I'm not speaking specifically on people that are in a relationship or have lost a relationship or have experienced a relationship. I think anyone can relate to this, where you find yourself in a place where you used to be so busy with your life that anytime that you're not doing anything, you feel like drained emotionally because you start introspecting. Um, I guess if you're an introvert, it's kind of hard to relate to it. I guess you would see kind of the opposite, where you're taken out of your quiet environment and you're put in a public place, and you just hate it, and then you just get in your head the whole time because um, you're constantly thinking about what you're supposed to be doing, and then I guess the only difference is if you're introverted, the feeling of unease of being in public doesn't usually last very long comparatively. It's a lot easier to find some alone time for yourself than it is to find companionship with other people. You know, because companionship with another person requires that effort from both parties. Whereas, you know, if you want to be alone, you just kind of like shut your door a little bit, and then you just, you know, you don't need the cooperation of one or more people to get your alone time. You just need to set aside time for yourself, and you know that can be a challenge in and of itself. But um, I feel that for me, a lot of the time, my problem is I tell myself, I'm gonna think about this clearly. I'm gonna have these values, and I'm gonna hold to them. But the moment that those values are like shaken, I just go, fuck it, and then I just like I don't want to say like I change my values or what's the word I'm looking for? Ignore or just change. I guess change is the word I'm gonna stick with right now until I find a better word. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna like forget about my values. I'm just saying that uh, I'm gonna give myself some leeway, you know, because I think I I feel like this will be different this time. But then again, I say that all the time, and it just ends up being the same all the time. And it's the definition of madness, according to Albert Einstein, which is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. You know, I'm gonna add 2 plus 2 every single time. Every single time, it's gonna equal 4. I'm not gonna expect it to be something different. You know, but I do it all the time. I always add 2 plus 2, and I always get 4, and I know I'm gonna get 4. But I think to myself, maybe it'll equal 5. Um, that's a that's a long drawn out comparison that I probably lost a bunch of people on, but it's fine. I just wish that I had a bit of self control in that way, just so that I don't find myself constantly in this position where I've overdone it to the point where if it changes up on me, if something that doesn't exist changes on me, it fucks me up mentally. Like um you get so in your head sometimes, or me, I guess. I get so in my head sometimes that I come up with this alternate reality within myself that has its own consistent like states that when it clashes with the actual reality that I'm occupying, it kind of falls apart on me, and it kind of it becomes kind of a mess, honestly, um, because then I go into one or two states. I go into like complete shutdown or just like complete fuck it honesty, where I forgo all sorts of inhibitions and I just go, you know what, here's, you know, either I just go, either I just shut down and I just let the whole thing go, or I throw all my cards on the table and I just go, fuck it, okay, look, you and I need to talk. You know, I got some stuff I need to say, which never really turns out well, quite honestly. Um, but I feel like just doing nothing about it and just letting it pass is like the worst decision I can make. I'm not one of those people that want to wait around and um, kind of let the world decide for me when I should get going. You know, a lot of my friends um, tell me to just wait, and then you know someone will come into your life and you won't really know it, but they'll come into your life and they'll fit right in. You know, they'll fit right in when you don't need them. And I guess the sentiment they're saying is just focus on yourself and things will come naturally. But the thing is, it's not really guaranteed. It's not really. The harsh reality is there's not really someone for everyone. There's no such thing. Some people just don't get nothing. Some people, get too much. Like, some people like keep going into these failing relationships one after the other, and then they just never pans out for them. They never find the one. There's no such thing as a guarantee that you'll find the one. Sometimes people get lucky. A lot of times people get lucky and they go, yeah, that's exactly how that works. And they try to spread this gospel to everyone like it's the truth, and it's actually not. It's not the truth at all by any means. And it's a bit patronizing, honestly, when people tell me that they talk to me like it is the truth. Like, I'm glad that you found your own happiness. Let me wallow in my non-happiness, and let me express the grief, Let me impress to you the difficulties that I'm facing right now. I'm so glad that you're happy right now. But being told that it just happens, dude, it's kind of like hand waves away all the misery of single life. I know like I've had this question presented to me several times before. It's like, what are you looking for in a relationship? Why do you want a relationship so bad? And it's like, it's not a friendship. It's different. It's like this closeness to someone that you just can't get with a friendship. And a lot of the times when I explain it, it just sounds like a friendship plus all the banging, and that's not exactly what it is. I mean, sure, it's that, but it's a specific closeness with a human being. But I feel like whenever I try to explain that, they just tell me, oh, it's just it's just friends, we're just not gonna kiss. And sure, yeah, I'm not gonna kiss you, you're just my friend, but that's not, you can't boil a relationship down like that. It's complicated. It's this very intimate closeness to another human being that you just can't get with a friendship. Sure, you can be really close to your best friend, right? But, I feel like, those best friends who get all touchy with each other are kind of speaking on some weird, like, unrequited, like, something in their subconscious they're thinking about that they just never quite fulfilled, and are just leading their lives pretending that didn't happen. And the fact that people will come up and tell me that relationships just happen, man, is so, I don't want to say annoying. I want to say it's, I just sit there and nod. I just go, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it does just happen. I guess it was all by chance. Because I don't have time for the conversation at the very end of the day. I just don't have time for the conversation. I just abhorrently don't believe in it. And that's where I'm at right now, I guess. And I feel really gullible, I guess, sometimes, because I lead myself into thinking, like, if I do this and do that and do this, then this, right? I always go 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. And then I do all those, and then it goes, but 5. Like, it's a hard thing to explain into words without getting too specific about it. But I guess that's the problem I have with putting these up in public, because I have to find a way to talk about this without actually talking into specifics. So I'm just going to stop right here, because I'm up at, like, 20 minutes already? Yeah, so that's what I thought. So I'm just going to stop right here, and hope everyone has a fantastic day. And I hope that I don't make a video pretty soon, because I might. and that's how you know it's real. Alright, I'm going to go. Peace out, everyone.